Hey everybody! Welcome to Superhero Roundup Live. I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Sam Basher.
And before we get started, I'm sure many of you are wondering, where the hell is DJ? Well, our poor, sweet DJ Wooldridge had an issue with his appendix. He had to have his appendix removed this week. So he's okay. He's recovering from surgery. We miss him very, very, very much. So go to his Twitter. Go to his Twitter at DJ Talks Trash. Send him some love because we really, really miss him.
He's a good dude. He's healing up fast. He should be back next week. So
yes,
don't
he should.
Fret.
We love him. And he's the best part of this show. He really is.
He has all the brains about it.
We're
just like,
brains.
oh,
I like this, I like that. And he's just like, this is the reason, this. And we're just like, educate us, please, Dad. Yeah, I miss him. So if you've never seen this show before, this is where we talk about every single superhero comic book show on the TV. So we're going to be talking about Powers on PlayStation Network. We're going to be talking about iZombie on CW. We're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC, Flash, and Arrow, as well as a ton of news and the question of the day, which today the question is, what do you think about the R-rated Deadpool teaser? Are you super happy that they're going to try to make it an R-rated movie? Do you, for some reason, like you're dumb, want it to be PG-13?
I don't think anyone
that. No one wants that. No one wants that. And how did you feel about seeing the costume in motion for the first time and hearing the voice? So we're going to be talking about all that. First, let's just jump in and talk about Powers. Now, you have not seen this episode.
No, I started watching a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of skipped around a little bit just so I could have a little bit of knowledge on it.
Yeah.
Didn't really make me want to go and pick up the series.
No, it was a lot quieter. For those of you who are interested in that show, if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you get the whole series for free. So you can go and watch all of them on PlayStation Plus, or you can just go to store.playstation.com and buy each episode. I think it's like $2 for SD, $3 for HD. Yeah, so this episode, a lot quieter. Last week, or there was like a two-parter last week and the week before where they were hunting down Wolf, this big bad guy in The Shaft, which is a hilarious name for a supervillain prison. And this week, they were kind of mourning the fallen from that whole scenario. A lot quieter, kind of a boring episode.
You guys got me really excited with the prison break aspect.
Yeah.
You're on a manhunt and he's stealing powers or whatever. And I was like, yeah, and I hopped in there and I'm like, okay.
Oh, right, they already captured him.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed all the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically, I actually really like these kinds of episodes in a show. It's a breather. It's an opportunity to catch up with the characters and do something interesting with them. And it didn't do that. It's funny. Every week this show sets out more things that would be really cool on the page. Like they mentioned the Black Swan. Like the two things I liked about this episode. We really got to see into the life of Trip Hammer a little bit, that he's an alcoholic, that he thinks he's better than everyone. It makes the Batman comparison that much cooler and makes me love him a lot more as a character, because I'm like, yeah, if someone got to write Batman realistically and without any restrictions from DC, he'd be a lot like this guy. But at the same time, other than that and the idea that there's this mounting war with this thing that's going to come and destroy us all, the rest of the episode was super boring.
Yep. I was pretty disappointed, with the skipping around, I got to see some of Zora, right? Correct? And I got to see a little bit of her, which was kind of interesting. I like seeing Wolf, and that was cool, but
that was a good twist at the end.
It was.
I felt.
I'd say it was a good twist, but I'm not.
For those of you who didn't watch it, the twist was that Wolf, he's currently been captured. He's under this thing called the Drainer. It's this green light. No one knows how it works, apparently, not even the guy who made it. And it drains people's powers. And he wants his powers taken away permanently.
Cool.
Which is cool and unexpected for a villain guy.
Also, what is Sway? Again, they have not established what Sway. They know what it is, but what it does, it kind of just makes the plot move along. It just
makes it move along. Also, Jack Monahan, we are talking to you, okay? He said that we're not talking to you. And Brandon McLean, I know you don't want us to talk to you, but we just did. So yeah, this show, there's a lot of cool stuff in this universe, but I don't care about anybody, ever. And this is why when you're talking about a great, cool comic book adaptation, maybe it's not the one you give to a first-time screenwriter.
No.
I'm very, very curious what this show would have been like if the version that was supposed to go at FX a few years ago had actually gone forward. It was being run by, oh God, what's his name?
Wow,
the
that's
guy,
super cool though.
Yeah, one of the showrunners of The Walking Dead was the showrunner for the show. Jason Patrick from like The Lost Boys forever ago was playing Christian. I don't know. It seemed like a really cool idea for an adaptation. I'm gonna keep watching the show till the end of the season. God help me, but it's not looking good.
Good on you. I might try again next week.
Try
and get
again.
A whole one.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Also, Chuck Murdoch at Chucko Muffin on Twitter really loves your shirt, Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was from the drawing board.
That is an
back.
FHP original.
Yeah. We don't sell it anymore, but it was a good one. It's
that
a
is
nice
a really
retro
cool
steampunk Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Steampunk Batman and his amazing flying machines. All right, let's move on to iZombie, which is a show that, again, not perfect yet,
No, it's
not great yet, but I still do enjoy. And this week, Liv ate the brain of a sociopathic hitman, and she became a nutcase.
Yeah.
Which I love the way that they play with this.
No, I love how it contrasts from last week's with the artist and how she was so alive and like lively and like she wanted to do everything.
Passionate.
In this, yeah, and this she was just like. She was crazy.
She was going to let her friend die.
She was almost worse than the zombie. I was more scared of her than I was of the zombie about to eat the friend. I was like, what is wrong with you? Can this wear off, please? But I liked at the end the emotional aspect of it, how she didn't want to deal with it, and she could choose to prolong dealing with it as long as possible. I like that they make the zombies seem more human.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I like that too. It's definitely a different approach to zombieism than we've ever seen before. But again, this show needs to do something to differentiate it from another just supernatural cop show.
Yeah.
It's a fun supernatural cop show.
Yeah.
It's cheeky, but other than that, I don't care much.
I don't care about it either. It's kind of, I watched it to watch it for this show. It hasn't really got me yet. But David Anders is still great. I can still say that he's great. The villain of this, was it the charity man, Mr. Humanitarian, whatever. He was interesting.
He was kind of chilling. I liked how far he was willing to go down the road if I didn't do it. But I want to know more about Detective Babineau. I want to know why we care about him. I want to know more about Felix, why we care about him. I want to know, well, we got to know a little bit about how Major, her ex-fiance, is going to figure into the plot because he looks after kids who are all getting snatched up and turned into a zombie army.
That was a cool twist at the end.
Right? He's going to be a zombie army? Zombie army? Probably.
Either a zombie army or he's just going to start picking off his friends and they're going to go investigate and they're going to get into that and the fiance almost gets bitten or whatever. And
yeah, or maybe that's what happens. He gets bitten and then they're able to be together.
There we go.
There we go. Finally. Okay. Let's keep going. That's really all we have to say about that episode.
To be honest, yeah, it's a pretty
run-of-the-mill
episode. Yeah. Let's go on to the stuff we want.
Well, before we do that, Rolling Thunder at Wheels MJ writes, I think the only problem I have with iZombie is the hair behind the ear part of her wig.
What?
What?
What's wrong with it?
I guess she can notice the fact that you can tell that it's a wig. I don't know. I didn't notice it.
I didn't notice that. I think she looks beautiful as a dead person.
She looks lovely. She's a lovely, pale, emo chica. Yeah. When I was in high school, that was my type. Was zombie.
Was zombie.
Yeah. So let's move on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I feel like we're like blowing through all this stuff. But again, we're talking about two like subpar episodes. Yeah. Now, this episode, tons happened.
I know. Well, it was kind of refreshing because it was going pretty much nowhere for a while and circling itself. But this episode, we had the real S.H.I.E.L.D. invade S.H.I.E.L.D. We had a cool little twist with the retreat actually being a retreat that Bruce Banner built. That was a nice little touch because I always like when they throw the Avengers and things in there and they weren't so on the nose about it.
Yeah, it's a nice subtle thing.
And what else happened? Mac, Hunter?
Yeah, so we got to see a flashback to the day S.H.I.E.L.D. fell and how this real S.H.I.E.L.D. formed. We got now like Coulson on the run with Hunter and Hunter signing on the dotted line. Like it set up a lot of cool elements. A lot of cool elements, but honestly, like I don't like everything that's going on right now.
I don't
and it doesn't feel like a comic book show. Like that's the thing. Whatever problems Powers has as a TV series, it still feels like a comic book put on screen. And I think the strength of Flash and Arrow is how much they feel like a comic book show. And this show, I don't know what it wants to be anymore.
No, and I don't think it's ever known what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Really? It's keeps trying to introduce things, but that's all it is an introduction to cool things that will be in the movies, which isn't a TV show. You can't make a whole series off of that.
Right.
But the Inhuman blind guy was kind of cool. I liked him talking about it. We got to see his backstory in the first episode when they came back.
Yeah. And I also really
Winter.
liked the fact that he pointed out some very clear truths to Skye. That listen, when I changed, the first thing that someone did when I told them, they embraced me.
Yeah.
What did they do to you?
They did to you. Yeah, that
they
was
locked
great.
her up and tried to kill her. Yeah, exactly. And that's so important, I think, for her character to hear right now. She needs to have a little lack of trust in S.H.I.E.L.D. because they've been really shitty right now. I hate what they're doing with Simmons. I hate it.
Agreed. No, she's so...
Yeah.
I don't like her. But it was very cool to see her display a full amount of her power.
Yes.
Whoa.
That was great.
Don't know how it makes sense to blow up a tree, but the person's fine. Not even knocked out. She just fell over, basically.
Sam, she focused it.
She focused it on the tree. Blew up 10 trees, and everyone just whoa, look out. No. What?
Yeah.
That's not how things work.
That's not how things work at all.
But it's cool.
It is cool. I loved that scene where she first realizes how to focus it, and we get the water as a DNA strand or something like that. That was not a great effect.
No, it's not.
Not at all, but I liked the idea behind it.
Have you ever seen that before? It's actually a thing. You put a frequency through a stream of water, it'll make that.
Really?
Yeah, and it will actually give an effect that looks like the water will be sucked back up the pipe. It's this cool thing. You can go Google it on YouTube. It's really cool. I saw it a year ago. So that was cool, a cool nod because it has to do with frequencies, and I liked how he broke down her power. It's you get to see the world in a way that nobody else can, just like me. And I like that he could hear her from far away. That was cool.
I liked it too. The Skye. It's rare that the Skye part of the episode is the best part of the episode.
Right? Yeah.
But it kind of was this week because I just can't be made to care about this real S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, don't care.
Just as much as I love Edward James Olmos, he feels so out of place here. I should be so excited that they're invading, and that should be exciting. And it's just kind of...
Matt caring about Fitz was kind of cool for the second he did, and then whatever. I don't know what they had to do after that. It was cool when Simmons tricked Mockingbird.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was also very cool.
Yeah, it's cool that she was useful for a second, but why? What's the point? What is the point of having a fake S.H.I.E.L.D.? They're going to take him down. They're going to arrest him. They're going to kill him. What are they going to do?
Well, Titan at Titan11 on Twitter says real S.H.I.E.L.D. versus Coulson S.H.I.E.L.D. seems like a prelude to Civil War in a way, right? Two different ideologies, etc. I feel like this is going to be resolved long before that.
Definitely.
So I appreciate the thought, and it is a civil war of sorts, but I feel like that conflict really has to stem from Captain America and Iron Man having different ideologies about how to protect the world.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the whole point. Yeah.
In Avengers 2, it's Iron Man's idea to create Ultron, this robot that can protect the world when they're not able to, or so that they don't have to do it full time. And Steve Rogers is all about free will, and it's going to be the two of them butting heads. So it's not going to be that. Yeah.
Bananas.
Bananas. Everyone wants him to say bananas.
Said bananas.
You didn't yell it, though. You have to yell it.
Bananas! Sorry.
Bananas!
There we go. Bananas.
Bananas!
God damn it, you guys. You need
Madam
to chill.
Mercy.
What do you think they're going to do with this show? Because they're moving pretty quick. Do you think by next episode they're going to have S.H.I.E.L.D. back? Or Coulson's going to have a showdown with Edward James Olmos?
I don't think it's by next episode. There's still... That's the interesting thing, because Flash and Arrow are on their 17th or 18th episodes of a 22, 23 episode season. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still on episode 13 or something, or episode 14. It's still... There's still a long ways to go.
That does not make me excited. When Flash and Arrow end, that'll still... Oh my God, that sucks because I love Marvel. I love Marvel, and this show is so disappointing. Daredevil, though.
Daredevil's going to be great. We'll talk in a second about that. At JP Drama Kid, John Patterson says, so glad AOS is finally getting to the Inhuman stuff. I agree. True. It was easily the best part of this episode. I want them to jump into that full force.
They have cool effects. I like how they display the
Not
powers.
the water effect.
Not the water. We can skip past that. But for an exploding tree, that disappears after they blew it up. It was still pretty cool. And hopefully like we're gonna get just an Inhuman episode next or something, like where they go to like their headquarters or like their bunker, wherever they're at.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool.
Elliot Wolf at Elliot Warped Wolf writes, "Does Rodriguez have the right idea being paranoid of Coulson?" I actually do think he kind of has the right idea. As much as we love Coulson, if you haven't been around him and you hear that this guy has been injected with alien blood, that he's privy to secrets that no one else has, that he's made a lot of impulsive decisions that got agents killed, including Agent Hand, who was in league with real S.H.I.E.L.D., it's definitely going to piss some people off. He has to earn that trust back.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be able to because he escaped.
But does it make sense to, like, take it away from him, to, like, break in and, like, hold them hostage, to, like, make them assimilate into, like, the real S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is that the tactic to go with? Or is it like, hey, guys, we're still here. Maybe let's talk about this and figure out like how to make this a better organization, because in the beginning of the season was S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to establish that, hey, we're still good.
Yeah.
Hydra was bad.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of like, all right, they're good, whatever, don't care. Now we have another S.H.I.E.L.D. there that's just kind of muddling it up.
Rodriguez doesn't seem like a very good person or a very good officer.
No.
He's not great at delegating.
No.
He's super impulsive. He wanted everyone on that boat to die. Like, why put him in charge? Because he's old? Because he was on Battlestar Galactica?
Maybe.
No, that's not a good reason.
They don't know.
How was, another great part of the episode though, how great was the Mockingbird versus May fight?
Pretty cool.
Pretty solid.
Pretty cool. There was no like definitive like end to it, right? Like,
it just kind of ended.
Yeah, it just kind of ended. There was a lot more guns, so she kind of had to stop and power out. That
but
was
I
cool,
appreciated it. I appreciated it. I thought it was really well executed. Not maybe the best shot, but it's a very cramped space.
Yeah.
So you have to be very creative with how you actually lens that action.
Yeah, they did like the same shot twice with both actors. Like Mockingbird fell in front of the camera. It's like, oh, get up. And it's like, oh, that May fell in front of the camera.
no.
Oh, get up. All right, there we go. All right.
Let's see. Ryan Dunbrack at Ryan the Nerd writes, "Do you want Daredevil on S.H.I.E.L.D.? No.
No.
I don't, because I feel like everything we're seeing from Daredevil looks so unique, stylized, and confident. I don't want to see that get messed up at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe have S.H.I.E.L.D. nod to him. That's about it. Just like be like, oh yeah, there's some
That
kid
madman in New York.
there. Look, that's great. Like,
Yeah.
that's, you don't have to say anything else. And like, we'll accept it. We'll be happy with it, and that's it. Don't need anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't want an Avenger on S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't want that tarnish it. Just Sif is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone asked, or a few people asked actually on Twitter and in the comments before we started the show, how we were going to recap Daredevil on this show.
Ooh.
I just wanted to let you all know we are going to marathon the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna binge it over the weekend, and we're going to review the whole season here on Superhero Roundup the following week.
That's a 13 episodes?
I think it's 13
13
episodes.
13 one episode? 1 hour, sorry.
13 hours of TV plus our other TV commitments, Sam. Is your body ready?
Yeah.
Is your body ready?
Yeah. Yeah, all right, well, we'll do it for you
We're
guys.
doing it for you guys. DJ's not happy about it because he doesn't like marathoning shows.
Well,
he likes to let it unfold. But so many people are going to have already seen it. They're going to want to talk about the whole thing. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll put that at the end of an episode. So if you haven't watched the whole thing, you don't have to be spoiled.
That's nice.
All right? Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Let's move on to the Flash.
To the Flash.
I love me some Flash.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, just tell me really quick what you thought. What happened?
Well,
What did you think?
it's a stellar episode. Actually, before we start, just really quickly, I want to let you guys know it's 4:29 p.m. right now. In 1 minute, this week's new SourceFedNERD parody sketch is going to be premiering on SourceFedNERD at 4:30. We've actually created an annotation for you. It should be somewhere on this screen.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully somewhere on this screen. I don't know because we're doing this live. If it's not, it should also be in the description of this video. So you could click away and watch it and come back, or you could watch it when you're done watching this stream. It is a Furious 7 sketch, and we're really proud of it.
They did some good work.
I hope that you enjoy it. So check that out.
They did
now,
some good work.
DJ, I think he summed it up best.
Oh, here we go.
He summed it up best, and I really, really like the way that he put it.
All right.
So you have his tweets.
Man, DJ,
I love
he's
that
so
kid.
good with his words.
I miss Dad.
I miss Dad. All right, he says, the opening sequence of this week's The Flash is hands down the best thing the show has ever done.
I agree.
And for a show about moving fast, the true story of Harrison Wells is a tragedy in slow motion.
Mm-hmm. It's true,
Well
man.
said.
I really liked the backstory that we got on Harrison Wells and how Eobard Thawne stole his life.
That was pretty
really,
violent.
really brutal.
Yeah, that for like Arrow being like the dark brooding show, that was kind of nasty.
Mm-hmm.
But what overall, how would you rate this on like the scale of Flash episodes?
On the scale of Flash episodes, it's easily in my top 3.
Agreed.
A lot of great elements here, but honestly, my favorite one is a macro element for the entire series. So in recognizing, like, let's talk about the Harrison Wells timeline, right?
There you go.
So he's fighting Flash in the future.
Awesome fight scene. That
Awesome
was great.
fight scene.
Yeah.
He decides to come back from the future to kill young Barry. And Flash follows him, chases him out of the house, saves young Barry, but his mother dies, changing the future. Then he's unable to get back. He kills Harrison Wells, who he and his wife were going to build the
Star Labs particle accelerator.
the particle accelerator in 2020. He decides that's too late, so he's going to do it earlier. So what they have said with this, which is so fucking cool for a TV show to do and so very confident for a superhero show to do, is they're saying the comic book world, Barry Allen and all that exists. And this is an alternate timeline.
It's like they laid their balls on the table. They're
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, we can
Fuck
do whatever
yeah.
we want.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
This is an alternate timeline, which means we can do whatever we want. We can change whatever characters we want, but we are also acknowledging that the original universe exists and that the fandom exists and that it makes sense and that it matters to us. It's so, so cool. Now, James Campbell at Lex Luthor for the Win on Twitter says, my main problem with the CW shows is how they take aspects from other characters, like how Barry is more like Wally West. But because Barry got his powers earlier in his timeline than he was supposed to, of course he would change.
Yeah, he's a different person. Also, really cool nod was, did you notice during the fight scene that Barry's emblem was different?
Yes.
Yes,
Everybody
tweeted it. Yeah, it's white. So it's like, it's from something. When that happened and I went back and watched it like 3 times, I was like, wait, what are you doing, CW?
Yeah, because not only is it future Barry, it's future Barry from an alternate timeline. I love it.
It's so good.
How often does a show get to be so unrepentantly nerdy in like small subtle touches that don't embarrass the viewer?
I know, and it's their first season.
It's the first season. That's how strong this show is. That's how strong this show is. I love it so much.
This is like why I want people to watch it, because it's like this show, like, it doesn't matter if it's nerdy. It doesn't care that it's nerdy. It's going like balls to the wall with everything it does. And man, Mark Hamill, incredible. Other Trickster, kind of hope he doesn't come back. Mark Hamill though, like
Son of Trickster down.
Great story though.
Son of Trickster down, regular Trickster up. Insanity with Humor in the chat somehow knows what shirt I'm wearing.
What shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing a Conspiracy Theorist from Jack Threads, and she called it.
Whoa.
That's so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah. Phase 1 File says, I love The Flash. So do I. Doomwaffle says, time travel is a waste of time to figure out because you will never fully get it.
Yes, agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing is like I'm glad when you just set some rules and we'll just stick to those rules until they are inconvenient, and then we'll come up with a quick fix for those rules. But like story comes first.
Yeah.
Story comes first. And I loved the Trickster. I loved the little present bombs.
That was really morbid.
That was like something.
It was a morbid episode.
Well, yeah. Well, it's the sort of thing that like the old Superman TV show would have done with a Toyman episode. But when it's real people, it's real scary.
Yeah, no, it's not just real people. It's on a playground with children.
With children, and this kid is reaching up for this present. He's gonna explode, and his dad is like crying out for him. And then when the kid gets saved, this like little shithead, he doesn't even realize that's what he did. He's just like,
he's just smiling. The
he's
kid's
just smiling, and the dad's like, what are you doing? You almost died. Yeah, I love what's going on with Joe. And with Barry letting Eddie in on the secret.
Okay, can you tell me why they did that? Are they just trying to like get people on their side to go up against Harrison Wells?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see the point. Also, why are you still hiding it from Iris? Like, I don't quite understand.
Because if you don't because I think in their minds, if they hide it from Iris, they need to keep Iris in the dark so that she doesn't investigate anything. If she knows that Barry's the Flash and that her dad's helping him, she's going to want to help too. So they're doing that usual sexist dad-lover thing like, we're going to keep her in the dark so that she's safe.
Yeah, because it's like, you beat the shit out of Eddie earlier in the season. You almost killed him. Like, I don't know why you were so like into telling him first over Iris, but I get like that dynamic in shows like this. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I love from Addy Call writes, I don't know what's up with Arrow and Flash, but I hope they keep up the Star Wars references. # I am your father.
That was so great.
Wasn't
when
that
happened, I was like, hey,
look
at you guys. You guys are having fun.
Yeah. Now, was it hard for you to separate Joker or Mark Hamill's Joker from his trickster?
During the trailers, it was. In the episode, within like a minute, I was like, no, this is Trickster. It's like Trickster, and like he's insane. He's campy, but he's insane.
It's very campy.
And he's very see, but I love what they did with him though. They had like a lot of fun with him, and they I think they let Mark Hamill kind of just do whatever he wanted. You know, they like pull some crazy shit out, like whatever you want. Some licorice, have some licorice. Like have some fun with it. Like Hannibal Lecter, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do something.
Let's do something.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, Trickster was great. I love the way that we're reframing Harrison Wells. I love the complexity of the relationship between Barry and Wells.
Yeah, it was a little annoying because
there were like 3 times in the episode where he's like looking at Wells and then he turns around and his face changes. And then it cuts to Harrison and his face changes.
Yeah, it's like you guys know that you both know something,
right?
And like, but Barry, you're acting like a teenager right now. Like all you know right now, before the end of the episode is when at the end of the episode he figures out that he's the Man in Yellow, or he's able to speculate that. Before, he just knows that Harrison Wells is lying and maybe killed his mom.
Yeah.
And like, but he's not sure, so he's just kind of brooding and being a brat about it for no reason, for him at least.
So Jesse Squire in the chat writes, so which version, can we go back in the chat? There was a really good comment.
It was like
further, stop.
Yeah.
So Jesse Squire says, so which version of Dr. Wells / Thawne does Barry fight then? Also, does this mean that Thawne is in an infinite loop of steal Wells' identity, train Barry, fight Barry, rinse and repeat?
Whoa.
That's hard.
That's really complicated.
It's complicated to answer. He fights, so here's working theory, and you tell me if this is bullshit or if this is on the level.
Okay.
All right? So alternate universe. Let's call this Universe Alpha, and then CW Universe is Universe Beta.
Okay.
All right, so in Universe Alpha, Barry gets his powers in 2020, becomes the Flash, works with the real Harrison Wells to develop his abilities in his like late 20s, early 30s, and starts to fight Eobard Thawne in that future. So somewhere around like maybe like 2030, 2035. Eobard Thawne goes back in time to kill young Barry, and Universe Alpha Flash comes after him. They fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. And Barry's mom is killed. Old Flash disappears because he now no longer exists.
Yeah.
And he's stuck there. So I don't think there is an infinite loop yet because he's now in timeline beta.
Yeah.
There is no way for him to get back to timeline alpha. It's gone.
There's might be a chance for him to get back to the future. He's a paradox now.
Right.
And that's when we start to get into time travel BS, because it's like a paradox means nothing. It just means like, oh, for some reason he's exempt from things in this instance. It's kind of like, did you ever read Flashpoint or like look into Flashpoint paradox? But you know like how Eobard Thawne just existed there and he was aware of the other timeline? It just because the story. That's it. Like that's all he's there for right now.
Yeah.
But like with Gideon, I like that Gideon is like kind of like a remnant of this other future too, along with Eobard Thawne. And did you watch Fringe, actually?
Of course I watched Fringe.
I love the kind of throwback. I wanted him to put the shape-changing thing in his mouth, and I was like, oh, please do it. Please.
Oh, man, that version was
cool.
so much creepier, but this one was, like, barbaric. The way he, like, disintegrated.
It took it away from him.
Took his entire life essence away.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Now, Arafon on Twitter, @Arafon, says, do you think Barry will save the real Harrison, or do you think Star Lab should be headed up by somebody like Jay Garrick? Now you're getting into super fan service coolness territory.
That's too complicated.
I don't think that they're going to throw in Jay Garrick. Once they start doing other speedsters, as much as it would be cool, the show's in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's really complicated. They might throw Wally West in there at some point.
Right.
Maybe.
Or like Impulse comes back from the future and is stuck there for a while or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're going to do that. Lumko Solwandel in the chat wants to know, where does Grodd get involved? I honestly don't know. They've got so much plot right now, they barely need Grodd.
I think they're showing things with Grodd and General Eiling. Like, there's like teases of him and like things. I want it to be next season. Like, he's the villain, because he's a big deal. He's not like a one-episode kind of guy.
No, he is a serious threat.
Yeah. So, like, I don't want them to throw him away so easily. I don't know what they're going to do with them, because they're kind of buttoning up this Harrison Wells story. So we'll see. Maybe they might end that soon and start going into Grodd, and Grodd will lead into the next season, which would be cool. Also, speaking about what's coming up next, the All-Star team-up that they keep teasing with Arrow in the thing we talked about, and just like all the footage is making me go crazy.
And Firestorm, and it's going to be insane. I Bite Apple, Jonathan Adkins said, loved the Speed Force mention. Thoughts on the minute-long trailer at the end of the episode. Now, we can't really talk about the minute-long trailer because it's spoilery, and we don't want to spoil it for anyone who didn't watch it. But I love that we went into the Speed Force. I love that Barry got to tap into it for the first time. I love how they portrayed it visually. That was really, really cool.
I like Harrison Wells' his like pep talks, and finally Barry figured it out. It's like, you know, he's like not just saying general things, he's being ultra specific when he gives you like advice for things regarding your speed powers. Like, he's not just guessing, he knows.
Now, what are the odds that by the end of the season he's being hunted, his secret's out, he grabs Eddie and does the thing to him and jumps into Eddie's body?
Oh, God, it's so freaking complicated, man. That means he gives birth to himself? Like, I mean, like, in that, and think it's like a Fry from Futurama. Like, he is his own grandpa.
He is his own grandpa.
That's not out of the realm of I would not be surprised if they did that, actually.
Also, if he's not from, like, the far-flung future, what kind of name is Eobard?
In the comics, he's from the 25th century.
Okay.
So he's not that far off, but our names didn't change that much between the centuries before us and now. So I don't know.
Maybe like the next big like teen like movie series like
Eobard.
Twilight.
Yeah.
The main guy will be named Eobard.
Yeah. Was there anything else I was trying to think?
A couple people in the chat and in the tweets are wondering how we feel about Caitlin and Cisco becoming Killer Frost and Vibe. I don't think it's going to happen for a long time.
No, not till like the end of the second season or something. Like, I think either you said it or I read it somewhere. I don't know. That sounds like a good place to throw that in there. Like, switches it up. They're scared. You know, they don't know what to do, and Barry can like teach them. Sorry, the thing I wanted to say was phasing. The fact that he phased in the comics, like, that doesn't happen for a while. Like in the older comics, in New 52, he can already do it. But that was. I expected them to save that for a little bit because Harrison Wells can do it. And I thought that'd be something special just to Harrison Wells, but no, he's like, no, I'm going to teach you.
I'm going to teach you, and it's happening. That's why, like, when I was a kid, someone first explained to me that Flash was the most powerful superhero, and I'm like, you're lying. But it's the truth.
I don't want to say a couple of things because of the comics. I don't want to spoil things, but, like, he is crucial for Eobard to get back to the future for a very specific thing that I know that they will get into. And so I don't want to say it, but he is extremely, extremely powerful. That's why I love him.
That's why we love him.
And if you shove him in that, he'd die immediately. Like, he's still a normal human.
All right, we spent like nearly 15 minutes just talking about
it's
Flash.
so good.
It's so good.
Let's talk about Arrow.
Let's talk about Arrow, which we finally, first and foremost, finally we have a way for Ray Palmer to become, instead of being Iron Man, to become Adam, because he's got nanotechnology in his brain right now.
That shrinks clots.
Shrinks clots. Shrinks clots.
Yeah.
The clot shrinking technology is going to shrink his whole body.
It's perfect. And apparently Felicity's a doctor. I mean, wow, they really put a lot of trust in a lot of people in this episode.
But I really applaud the producers of this show for taking big swings this year. No bigger swing than telling Captain Lance who Oliver is, who the Arrow is. Fans have been waiting for this moment, or fearing this moment, for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so well done. It was so well done. And thank God Roy's done something now. Roy has been so pointless. Besides when he left, when he was dead, like I was like, oh, Roy's gonna do. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Roy's like
no, useless
again.
Roy finally serves a
and
purpose.
He did it, and I was like, whoa.
Selfless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why I love him. Like, if he were to get, like, if he ever headed over to that spinoff or that Teen Titans thing that TNT's doing, I believe. Yeah.
Titans. Yeah.
Titans. Yeah, that would be great. Like, I love him over there.
Yeah, I think he'd be better served over there. I just thought this episode was so well paced.
Oh yeah.
It was so well paced. It felt like an animated series two-parter, and it was so good that like half the time I was just like, see, we could totally have a Batman show.
Yeah, you're saying
a good Batman show, because this episode to me, you take out the Arrow and you drop in Batman. A plot like this would totally work on a Batman show. You've got Ra's al Ghul trying to take down Gotham City. You've got the police after him because they don't trust him. You've got, say, Robin posing as Batman to keep him out of jail.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing could have been a Batman episode. And it hurts me deep inside because we'll never get it.
We won't.
No.
And like people like CW will always do a bad job. It's like, no, you guys aren't watching these shows right now. Like iZombie, man. But Arrow and Flash,
beautiful.
Great. Yeah.
Justine at Justine Cashew writes, when he mentioned the nanobots, I yelled, finally, he can shrink.
No, but sadly, no.
No. Well, that's the thing, is next episode, if I'm mapping this crossover correctly, next episode, Ray gets back into the suit, but it's malfunctioning, and he has to understand why. He goes to Central City with Felicity. They explain that he can't get the nanobots out of his system, but it's gonna make him shrink. Done.
I believe it. I buy it. That works. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but it works for this show.
Nader Sayas says Laurel was amazing this episode. How did you feel about Laurel?
To be honest, I kind of didn't notice she was there a little bit.
The whole time?
Yeah, I mean, except for that one part where I was like, "Whoa, what's wrong with you?" Is when they jumped off the roof, and I was like, "Laurel." I was gonna say like you're such a stupid you're so stupid. Like what you trusted Oliver to catch you. It's like that actually pissed me off a little. I was like, you are so stupid. You were so stupid. Like out of all the superhero things that happen in this show, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've seen. Is that like you just jumped off of a 7-story building with the hopes that the dude next to you would catch you and be able to hold on to you.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I accept it. I accept it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like she doesn't have a robe.
No, she's got nothing.
It's still weird to see her in the costume.
Yeah,
it's still weird.
Like she's suited up and like going out to fight. It's like Laurel, please.
I just can't separate her from like drunk Laurel or whiny Laurel or like pining over Tommy Laurel. I can't separate it.
Like I want to see her face off against Nyssa because that's I don't know like because Nyssa's like if she shows up you know that Oliver's probably gonna lose. You know that everyone's probably gonna lose. So that'd be cool to see her at least like come to a standstill with her because then you know that she's like got the chops. But now it's just like she gets like hit immediately like. Oliver's like taking out 5 guys and she's already on the ground. Like, God damn, I know. God damn it. But overall, this episode was really good. I like the connection, the follow through with the arrows coming through, killing the mayor.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Do you think that Quentin's justification is strong enough for going after Oliver in this fashion? I mean, granted, all the deaths give him a public reason, but we all know that he knows that it's not the Arrow killing these people. He's just taking all of his pain out on Oliver.
I don't know. I don't know if it's justified. At first, maybe, but now it just seems like a personal vendetta because of Sarah. Yeah. And I'm glad, okay, that's why I like these shows. Like, I know, like, I pointed this out before, like, we got frustrated with Firestorm. They explained Firestorm. He doesn't like to sit. And then they never explained or revealed to Quentin that Sarah was on the island, and they brought it up now.
Yeah.
And that was great how they did that. They like to save these things and then release them later, and they don't leave things open-ended.
Right.
They make the plot move forward.
Just like how Thea in the episode is like, wait a minute, no. Raish is coming after us because of Malcolm. What are you not telling me?
Yeah.
Like, it's all about secrets. Someone doesn't know something all the time in this show.
And they do it well.
And they do it, and they do it well.
They do it so well.
Favorite part of the episode?
Yeah, when Roy sacrificed himself, like, it was really cool that that chase scene of them getting away from the police and Roy shooting the cops. I was like, whoa, dude, come on! Like, Oliver doesn't shoot him; he just gets away. Like, you're fat, you do parkour. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you shooting cops?
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
I really liked that part of the episode.
Also, Felicity's mom. Like, at first, she kind of bugged me. I
right?
kind of like her.
I was really worried when she showed up. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be a cartoon episode. But no, she fit in fine. She didn't overstay her welcome.
If Flash has the campiness of Trickster, like, they got like a little bit of campiness with her. It's like,
yeah,
it's fun,
it's
cheeky, it's cheesy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Titan at Titan 11 says, do you think Shadow's sister will come back for a future plot? Unlikely, but I guess possible. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no, too. She kind of didn't need to be there. It could have been anybody. It was cool to see her. Definitely cool. And it was cool that Maseo and
Tatsu,
thank you. They came back finally. Where were they?
I don't know. Not parenting their kid, I guess.
Nope. They let him run around with a basically stranger. So and they were being shot at, but whatever.
Yeah. Kat Hanana in the chat says, question, what TV series would you like to be created that hasn't been yet by Marvel or DC? Thanks, Kat from England.
Ooh.
The Question. No question. The Question.
That's cool.
He's my favorite DC hero. He is a crazy, kooky conspiracy theorist who wears a mask that makes him look like he has no face. He has no money to support himself, but he just beats the shit out of people.
He's great. He's like Rorschach a little bit, just a little bit like toned down on the insanity.
He's Rorschach before Rorschach.
Yeah.
Like Rorschach was from Watchmen was based on this character. This character's been around since the early 70s, and he's easily the best part of Justice League Unlimited.
Oh my God, he is. Any episode with him, I always kind of was scared, but man, he did a good job. He did a good job. But for me, a show, I would love to have a Green Lantern live-action show, because I actually looked into that CGI one that Cartoon Network that DJ was telling us about. It's actually pretty good. I watched when they introduced the Blue Lanterns with Saint Walker, and I was pretty impressed.
Wow.
Yeah, if they did a good, like with what they're doing with Flash, with that kind of CGI, and they did a good Green Lantern story, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad.
We had a question from Jesse Squire in the chat. What do you think about May's introduction? Do you think this was a necessary scene or just filler? Am I the only one who thinks that it was a slight cop-out after last week's end? I would say it's a cop-out. And it was thoroughly unnecessary. I feel like we kind of covered this a little bit.
May?
But
what?
the sister, Shadow's sister, not Melinda May. Shadow's sister's name was May.
Oh, for some reason I had Joy stuck in the back of my head. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
May. And it was just kind of the flashback sequence this week. We didn't need it.
Maybe she had like a little bit left in her contract and like, crap, we killed her off a little too early.
Or just like, they're like, man, I wish we could have her back because we like her so much.
She's pretty.
Let's just throw her back in, you know. It did it gives Oliver a couple of key nuggets of information. One, the quote that he uses earlier in the episode comes from her. And also, it's getting him thinking about what his family must be going through back in America.
Yeah, like whenever there's a quote that Oliver says or anyone says, I'm just gonna wait for like the flashback to fill me in on what that came from.
Yeah,
like it's like that's kind of out of the blue. That's a good quote. Oh, don't worry, there's a backstory to it. We'll get it in a second.
Mports at Portsy 1989 says Lance had no evidence for the identity for the Arrow. Besides, it's not like Raish's confession. We'll stick in court. It's confession. Well, it doesn't matter because Oliver came out and said that he was the Arrow.
And then Roy
came out and said that he was the Arrow, dressed in the Arrow costume. I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't have anything. He didn't have any physical evidence besides Ray Palmer saying it and then redacting it.
Yeah.
Which is like suspicious.
Suspicious. But like, you know, they stormed Verdant. If they get down in the basement, they're going to find Roy's DNA, Oliver's DNA, all over all the costumes.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah.
It took him a long time to figure it out. I like that he acknowledged that, like, I kind of knew. I kind of knew the whole time that it was you. And, like, he probably did. He's a detective.
But
like,
he decided it didn't matter when he thought he was helping people.
Oh, one of the best episodes or scenes in this series is when Roy goes to meet with him. He's like, Harper? He's like, no. He's like, no. He's like, dude, I know what you look like. You're short. Like, I know what you look like. And, like, when he said that, I was like, he has to know it's Oliver. He's seen his face.
He's known. He's known forever, but it just didn't matter.
Yeah.
And also because he had been exonerated that one time. Yeah. But ultimately, where do you see the rest of the season going? Now that Roy has been captured,
Is it fair to talk about the trailer we saw, or should we assume that people haven't seen it?
I would say assume that people haven't seen it, but you can, what do you think is happening next?
This isn't the end for Roy, obviously. Something's gonna happen. Like he'll be found innocent, maybe, I don't know, or like he'll get out somehow. But I think the way they're setting it up is Oliver is going to become Raish for a second at least. Like just because at first he's like, no, I don't want to be it, and like he could fight it the whole time.
Right.
And he might be able to get past, but I think he's gonna be forced into it.
He's kind of out of options.
Yeah. No. Yes, definitely. Like Raish has completely outplayed him. He has nowhere to go. Obviously, like he turned himself in. Now, what do you think?
I honestly don't know. I think that it's definitely pointing in that direction. He's kind of out of options. Even if maybe he doesn't become Raish, maybe there's some way he can negotiate to just become a member of the League or something.
Like his second, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, man, because, fuck, they have to expose Raish in order to get Roy free for all the murders. I don't know how you'll undo this whole knot of crap.
Hopefully the writers figured it out and they don't have just, like, some fix-it, like
Flash going back in time and changing something.
Yeah, no. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love everything they've been doing this season. I think the show is as strong as it's ever been. Maybe the threat felt more intimate and immediate with Deathstroke last year, but I really like what they're doing.
I was a little nervous this season when you have the Flash running parallel to you. It's like, that's a strong show. Even with it, maybe the stories aren't as compelling, which they are now. Like I was worried about that, but Arrow's great. Like I don't have any faults with Arrow right now.
Yeah. This is another Jesse Squire comment. He is just asking lots of questions. You were talking earlier about a Green Lantern spinoff. What do you think of John Diggle being DC's replacement for Jon Stewart?
That'd be great.
Well,
also won't happen.
It won't happen. But at the same time, Flash and Arrow take place in the same universe, and this is an alternate timeline.
Yes, but the creators came out and said that John Diggle isn't Green Arrow. They can say whatever they want, really. Right. Because they now have Hawkgirl, which we can get to later, and Ripped Hunter, which is really cool. But I don't think they're going to do that.
Well, let's close this conversation on Arrow and move into some news stuff.
Ooh,
lots of good news this week.
There's always so much news.
So Stephen Amell, who plays Oliver Queen, just got cast in the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was a bad movie. But he's playing Casey Jones in the new movie, which is a promising step forward.
Yeah. It could still be bad, though.
It could still be bad, but I really want to see his take on the character. I feel like it's a great opportunity for him to stretch and do something a little different, something that's a little goofier and weirder, but also kind of brutal.
Yeah, no, I would, and I also I like invested in my actors in TV. I'm like, I want you to succeed.
I want to succeed. Yeah.
I want you to do well. So like, I want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 to do well, so we can at least get like one more step forward. But I don't know. I was excited to hear that. It just made me excited to maybe go see it. I didn't see the first. Pretty sure I could hop in there and figure out the story.
Yeah,
so
you don't
I'm
need
not
to
missing
see
anything.
Apparently, though, he was cast mostly because of his amazing chemistry with Megan Fox, which is not promising.
No, what do you think that means?
Whatsoever.
We used to have chemistry with a wall. Mean.
Arafon in the chat says TMNT2 will be dumb. Sorry. Adrian Romero at Adrian Duva on Twitter writes, did you see that Deadshot is officially dead in Arrow?
Aww.
So DC, in a little bit of corporate shittiness, because Deadshot is going to now be a movie-level character in Suicide Squad, they forced Mark Guggenheim and staff to kill him off permanently because they don't want to confuse the audience.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
I know.
I don't like that. I don't like that they killed off Bronze Tiger and they let us know through a comic, which I'm not going to go read I might read the comic.
And this didn't even get a comic. This was like a tweet. It wasn't even a real tweet. It was like a reply to someone who asked about it. Like not even a real tweet.
You didn't do it justice.
No. And I understand that you got a movie star in Will Smith playing Deadshot, and maybe this was Will Smith's call. He's like, look, if I'm going to play Deadshot, there can't be any other Deadshots anywhere.
I heard there's another one out there.
I heard there's another Deadshot.
We got to get rid of him.
We got to get rid of Deadshot. Yeah.
I hope he like pops up maybe in a flashback.
But Rip Hunter and Hawkgirl have been officially added to the third CW DC series, this like anthology series.
That's what we're calling. I don't know what
and
it
Arthur
is.
Darvill from Doctor Who's playing Rip Hunter, a time traveler. How great is that?
it's kind of weird. Like I don't know Rip Hunter very well. Like he didn't show up really in anything I've ever read, but I looked into him. Like he runs around with Booster Gold, which is cool. He's a time traveler. Like that's awesome, and that's kind of cool throwback to Doctor Who. It's not on purpose, but like it's cool. And he just doesn't look like. Have you seen Rip Hunter?
No.
Okay, I'll show you a
looks
picture
nothing
later.
like Rip Hunter.
Like Rip Hunter is Rip Hunter. Like
he's ripped.
He looks like a safari man. Like he's got a beard and like he's really like he's ripped.
What
He's Rip
bonkers
Hunter. Like,
casting?
Yeah, like unless he like bulks up, because he's like going through time and just like beating shit up. Like
He's beating up the timeline. Fuck you, time.
Exactly.
I'm Rip Hunter.
Yeah, like he is the badass sidekick to Booster Gold sometimes, and like so.
I don't know. But I'm glad we're gonna see a live action Hawkgirl. I hope the effects aren't super wonky, because here's the thing, guys. She has wings in every shot.
Yeah, every shot.
She has wings in every shot.
There was never hiding it, unless I didn't read a Hawkgirl or Hawkman comics. Maybe there's some magic.
There's no
stuff.
magic. There's no magic. There's no Thanagarian fucking technology to hide a bunch of big wings.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have like shitty prosthetics on the back, and they're not gonna move.
No.
That's just a bummer.
By the way, that's one of my favorite alien races names. I love
The
that.
Thanagarians?
Thanagarian. It's a great word in my mouth.
It rolls around real nice.
Thanagarian.
It's like chewing gum.
Yeah. Also, we had Batman vs. Superman trailer is going to be attached to Mad Max, which is pretty cool. But they've said that, but now it's been confirmed by Variety, so that's pretty cool. Scott Easton has been confirmed to play Steve and Trevor.
Scott Eastwood.
Eastwood, thank you.
Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is he good?
I've never seen him act before.
Oh, me neither.
He's got a publicity photo where he's smoking a cigar and he looks real handsome.
Yeah, he looks handsome, and he's playing the Wonder Woman's love interest probably.
Hopefully he brings more charisma than a plank of wood to that role.
Man, God, there's so many freaking characters in Suicide Squad. He will be in Suicide Squad, and so will, I do not want to butcher his name. I'm just going to say his old character name. He played Mr. Echo in Lost.
Yes.
And he will be playing Killer Croc.
He's got a very complicated name.
Yeah, but why
it's like
that character?
Here, let me read it. I'll butcher it.
Here you go.
Butcher it.
There you go.
Okay. Adwele Ekenoye Agbaye. Yeah.
Someone let us know if that was right in the comments. I don't know.
I bet it's the closest thing ever.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I love him in everything, and I'm excited to see what they do with him. Yeah. So the Killer Croc will be cool, but what are they gonna make him look like? Like shot for shot for the comics? Like, are they gonna make him look like that? Like with the teeth and?
That would be cool. Like, I mean, I think they'll probably go something a little closer to what they did on Batman the Animated Series, where he's got a human-sized head. He's just got like mouth prosthetics and like some creepy skin and stuff like that.
That could be cool.
That could be fine.
Yeah.
I just like, why do we need him? It doesn't matter anymore.
No, you already had a really cool lineup. Actually, Captain Boomerang wasn't that cool, but like.
Ooh, CamJ007 says, I wouldn't want this, but what if they made Hawkgirl not have actual wings, but they were like Falcon in the MCU, where they were mechanical wings? Boo! Give us real wings.
She's an alien.
Real wings or nothing. Sierra Turner is watching live for the very first time. Hi, Sierra Turner. Yeah.
What about CGI wings or CGI wongs for Hawkgirl?
CGI wongs are my favorite.
Oh my God! If they did good CGI wongs, man, CW, they got money, man.
Yeah. So let's get to the question of the day. I know we got more news, and we'll see if we have more time for it. But Hiram Mendez responded. Our question of the day was, what did you guys think of the Deadpool little teaser with Mario Lopez and their commitment to an R rating? Hiram says, Deadpool's R/PG-13 rating. I want this movie to begin PG-13. Deadpool realizes, stresses out, and movie ends R-rated.
That'd be so meta.
That would be so crazy and
cool.
meta.
Yeah. No, because did you ever play his video game?
No.
Oh my God, that game is so aware that it's in a video game. Like you go to levels and they haven't been developed yet, and he'll call the game developers and they'll build it for him. And he's like, "Thank you. All right, we have a budget for this." So I would like them to have fun with that in this movie. Like they know it's a movie.
The original Deadpool script is super like crazy meta.
That would be so good.
It's
That's
crazy
the character
meta,
works.
and it opens with the most complex and violent action set piece I've ever heard of.
Really?
It's I don't know if it's the script that they're shooting with. It's the one that they produced like back in 2006, like right after right after Werewolf.
Yeah, Werewolf. Oh, Werewolf.
We would just like to take a second to talk to you about our favorite superhero, Werewolf. There's a joke going on in the office this week because we're writing down headlines for stories, and one of the stories this week was that Hugh Jackman was no longer going to be playing Wolverine, and Sophia wrote down werewolf instead.
No more werewolf.
No more
werewolf for
werewolf
Hugh
is my
Jackman.
favorite. I'm sorry, Sophia. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like my favorite thing right now.
You love it.
I love it so much. I love werewolf.
But what are you thinking about that? I mean, obviously.
So they can commit to making an R-rated movie all they want. If the studio panics and they shot an R-rated movie, it's gonna get butchered to hell.
Yeah.
So it's a bold risk, and I hope it winds up as an R. But don't be surprised if after all his talk about it, Ryan Reynolds has no power to make it an R. All of his movies, like, when's the last time Ryan Reynolds had a hit movie?
Oof. R.I.P.D.
Not a hit.
No, not a hit at all.
His last hit movie was Wolverine in 2006.
There's got to be something else in there.
No, because Green Lantern came out, in 2010?
Something like that.
It's 2010, and it sucked. And everything since then has sucked. He has no power with the studio.
No.
So no matter what he wants, no matter what the director wants, if the studio wants it to be a PG-13, that's what it'll be. Which sucks, because it needs to be an R for it to be a Deadpool movie.
They can do things with a PG-13, but it won't be true to the comics. They could make it work.
It'll be really perverse.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be crazy bloody. If all these people are dying and there's no blood, kids are going to see this.
Yeah.
Kids are going to see this, the kids that you're now allowing to come see this movie, and they're going to be like, cool, killing is fun. He's having a great time. There's no blood. Whatever. Blades.
Blades.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's pulverized into a puddle and builds himself back up again. Like, it's super violent. Like, he gets gored by, like, rhinos. Like, he gets diced and sliced. Like,
it's part of
everything happens to him.
It's why his attitude is so laissez-faire and crazy, is because he's like, I've died 1,000 times, nothing matters.
Nothing. Yeah, I'd be the same way. I'd be crazy. Like, why should I care? Like, I can't die ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And I will say his costume is cool. His voice wasn't.
No.
Did you hear?
It was just kind of like a squeakier version of Ryan Reynolds' voice.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a little too cheeky.
Yeah, no, Ryan Reynolds' voice is actually what I imagined for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, that's because he's like lazy, doesn't care, he's having fun, but he's also like charismatic, and like, that'd be great. Don't make it faster. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like, did you
and
just
like
not pick it?
kind of squeaky, like kind of up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that high pitched.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a little unfair, but I loved how the costume moved though. How it looked in motion was great.
Kind of reminded me of like Ant-Man a little bit, like the same material we saw in the trailer for that. But it's cool, and I liked how they premiered it through Ryan Reynolds' Twitter with the bearskin rug.
Yeah. Guys, unfortunately, we are running out of time, and DJ's not here to do his pull list.
DJ.
So just go buy all the comics this week, and he'll tell you which ones you should have bought instead of the ones that you bought when he gets back.
They did start the Convergence event for DC, their big event for the year, and Secret War / Battle World is going to start soon. So you can go check that out if you want. Let me know if it's good or not, if I should buy it.
Thank you guys, and keep tweeting at us with the hashtag #SHRoundup, and keep coming back every Thursday at 4 p.m. to watch with us. And when you're done watching this, you can go to SourceFedNERD, click on that channel button right now, and go watch the new sketch, the Furious 7 sketch. We're really proud of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So he's in it. We're both in it.
You helped write it, right?
I did help write it.
Did a good job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil nothing. But thank you guys so much. Come back every single week. We're going to be back on Thursday. And I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Sam Basher.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.